Hello everyone, it is I, Andre, from the 4OurInfo YouTube and Rumble channels. And today we will be talking about the Democrats. And I will be addressing any Democrat watching this video here today. So here's my message for the Democrats. Ever since then candidate, now President of the United States, Trump, when he announced that he was running for President of the United States, now a decade ago, on June 16th, 2015, the Democrats started to lambast him and call him all sorts of despicable names. You know, Hitler, a Nazi, a fascist, an authoritarian, you name it. All these terms were used in relation to Trump. Now here's the thing. Trump is, by no stretch of the imagination, a Nazi. I mean, come on, people. When has Trump deployed the SS Einsatzgruppen to go arrest people just on the basis of their ethnicity? Which camp did Trump send those ethnicities to? Bergen-Belsen? Dachau? Auschwitz? I mean, come on, people, this is absurd. Trump is not Hitler. You don't have to like Trump's character. You don't have to support his policies. You can vote against him in the election. All that's reasonable. But you need to give a good, constructive policy critique. Why do you disagree with Trump on, let's say, for example, immigration? You think the wall won't be effective? Okay, fine. You don't support the tax cuts because you don't think that's what America needs to focus on right now, or it might not benefit the economy? Okay, I disagree, but you know what? At least you have a policy grounds to disagree with Trump, and you're keeping it on that basis. Or if you don't support his character and you say, well, I don't think he's a role model. I don't think that I would want my children to act like him. I've heard these things before. You know, I don't like the tweeting. Okay, on some of that, like for example, obviously, I don't necessarily think Trump is a role model for our children, but I didn't elect him to be role model and how to show, you know, unadulterated decorum and lofty characteristics. I elected Trump to be an effective commander-in-chief who would enact policies that I support that would benefit our country, a right-wing vision for America. And that's what I support Trump for. When you call Trump Hitler, when you call Trump a Nazi, when you call him a fascist, when you say all these things that are absurd and that have no basis in reality, is it really surprising that we just had over a year ago an assassin shoot Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania? Trump got extraordinarily lucky. If Trump were not standing in the position he was in physically at that rally and was any closer to the bullet, then Trump would have had his head blown off on national TV, the first time that would happen since John F. Kennedy. And then the Democrats basically attempted to claim plausible deniability by saying, well, we're against shooting Trump. I don't buy it. You people have vilified Trump personally. You've launched ad hominem attack after ad hominem attack after ad hominem attack on Trump, and you did not oppose him on policy grounds and said, look, I don't think his policies will benefit America. Here's my belief, and here's why I think my view would benefit America. No, these people have called Trump a racist, have called him a sexist, have called him an Islamophobe, a misogynist, a homophobe. No, he's none of those things. It's a lie. All these are brazen lies that have no basis in reality. And when you claim stuff like that, just day by day, for 10 years now, 9 years at that time, is it really a surprise that we have the lunatic in Butler, Pennsylvania, Trump? Whether you agree with him, whether you disagree with him, whether you even oppose vehemently his vision for America on the most unabashedly left-wing policy platform, at the very least, you have a good faith reason to argue against Trump. When you politic, this is politicking at its worst possible form, and politicking is bad in and of itself. And it is horrific for our country. This has made political discourse almost impossible with people. People don't want to believe that the mainstream media, the Democratic Party, would lie to them and claim he's Hitler, claim that Trump is Hitler, even though he's not Hitler. That he's a racist, that he's a fascist, that he's a demagogue, a divider, all these things. You know, where's the people saying we disagree with his policies? That's where the Democrats come in. These people who are claiming that Trump is all the names that I just listed, and there are more that I've not listed due to redundancy. These people are not liberals. Liberals are people who are left of center, somewhat, but who you can reason with. There are people who would oppose what the Democrats are doing. The Democrats are now far left of communists. I mean, there is no room for moderates in the Democratic Party as it stands. Look at people like Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz is a liberal, but this is a man who stood up for principles. He made it clear the first two times he did not vote for Trump, in 2020 and 2016. Did not vote for him. But he said that he would defend Trump in the first impeachment of the spectacle, defended him. Because this is someone who cares more about the Bill of Rights and the Constitution than his own political party. That's Alan Dershowitz. Where are more Democrats like Alan Dershowitz? And now he left the Democratic Party. Joe Lieberman, before he died, you probably couldn't even find room for him in this Democratic Party. They are as far left as they come. And these are people who would rather debate with politicking. Why wouldn't someone want to assassinate Hitler? Obviously, most people would not take matters into their own hands in an attempt to assassinate Trump. But the most deranged would. And that shooter at Butler, Pennsylvania, the shooter aspirant at the Mar-a-Lago golf course, nearly assassinated what became the thrice, and at that point was the twice, duly elected President of the United States, seeking his third re-election and seeking to fulfill his term in office, that was essentially nabbed from him by Joe Biden and a criminal conspiracy to place him in the White House as the unelected White House occupant. And now that he's out of there, Bolshevik Biden's out of there, and now that Trump is serving out what should have been the term he had starting in 2021, he dealt with all of the slander and all the brazen lies about his character. And this is not to say that not every critique of Trump's character should be viewed the same. Saying I don't like the tweets is one thing, but saying he's Hitler is another thing. And that political discourse should have no application in our country. You should not, out of good conscience, want to say, well, I don't support Trump, but you know what? I support, calling him Hitler. And the Democrats knew that if they went behind and supported the shooters, then they would lose all credibility with the American people. That's why they didn't want to take that risk. And now the Democrats saying, oh, we condemn the shooting of Trump. No, you don't. You condemn it on the basis of political calculation. You don't condemn it on a pro-humanity, pro-mankind principle. You wish the assassination attempt succeeded. When you call him Hitler, you're not going to convince me that you did not want that attempt to succeed. That shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the shooter aspirant on the golf course of Mar-a-Lago, you can't convince me that the Democrats did not support that at best. And at worst, they contributed, which I suspect the latter is true. That kind of divisive rhetoric certainly plays a part in political discourse. You can't reason with Hitler. And an unreasonable lunatic will think to themselves, wait a minute, Hitler's running for president? I gotta kill him. I gotta take matters into my own hands. And that's exactly what what the shooter and the shooter aspirant at Butler, Pennsylvania, and the Mar-a-Lago golf course respectively attempted to initiate. Thankfully, for the sake of our country, they failed. By God's grace, their plans to assassinate Trump and who they thought of as Hitler were foiled. What all honest Democrats should do, here's what I think they should do to make this right. They should say, you know what, the rhetoric from the Democratic politicians and from the media, we condemn that. We don't agree with Trump. We don't support his policies. He is not Hitler. He is not a racist. He is not a xenophobe, a homophobe, an Islamophobe. He's none of those things. That's what they should say. They should condemn this outright. Next, they should leave the Democratic Party and become independents. The Democratic Party doesn't want people like you. They want radical lunatics who believe that their political opponents are Hitler. That's the constituency of this brand new communist Marxist aligned Democratic Party. Next, all Democratic politicians. I highly doubt you're watching, but if this video ever happens to cross your path, stop this rhetoric. Find the humanity within you. This is not right. There should be no way to justify calling your political opponents Hitler on the basis of simply disagreeing with their policies. I don't care what they believe. If the person is not calling for Nuremberg racial laws, for placing people in concentration camps, and on the basis of their ethnicity and on their race alone, and you cannot definitively prove this, you should not, out of good conscience, not in the sense that we should ban you from doing it. You've got the right to freedom of speech as per the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, and I would never argue for curtailing that. But out of good conscience, you should consider the ramifications of calling somebody Hitler and you have no evidence to prove it. Proving someone is Hitler is a tall order, and if you cannot prove it, do not raise that allegation. That allegation has no place in our politics on the basis of zero evidence, on the basis of your feelings. Your feelings do not make someone Hitler. Implementing extreme racial ideology and exterminating them on that basis does make them Hitler. Trump does not fit that bill. So therefore, it is morally reprehensible to say this man is Hitler. This man is a fascist. And his supporters are fascists. His supporters are aligning themselves with the Nazis. This rhetoric is despicable. It's grotesque in every way imaginable. It is detrimental to our country. So hopefully there will be justice for Trump. And Trump won't have to deal with all of these lies. And we can get back to debating the policy and what's best for our country. That should be how the discourse is run. And hopefully there are good Democrats still who are liberals who will make that discourse happen again. I want to get back there, and hopefully we can have those discussions. And thanks everybody for watching this video. I love all of you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And I shall see all of you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.